Hello?
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm pretty okay. I'm just sort of waiting to um how to say you know, I've been pretty okay. Can you introduce yourself to all of our, you know, viewers and tell me who you are and what you do and what your whole thing is?
Hello, I am Arkale. Um, I stream on YouTube sometimes. Uh,
Or some call you RKL,
that's
and
true.
by some I mean me.
I play video games, mostly Doom. I sometimes do politics stuff.
Sometimes.
And yeah, that's about it. Uh, I wanted to react to a food shops debate about transmedicalism, and I thought that we could go over it together
Excellent.
because I saw that you were
Would you
reacting to
like
food shop
to,
stuff.
yeah, would you like to, or is it, would you
Yeah.
perhaps like to share the video
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
on, no, share it on the, that's
Oh, I
gonna
can
be the
screen
best
share.
way. Yeah, screen share it,
Okay, I'll
screen
screen share
share
it.
it, and I'm just gonna, are you gonna debate food shops still?
Yeah, I was gonna call in sometime soon. I'm not sure if that'll be tonight or not because I've got work pretty early tomorrow, but we'll see.
Mhm.
I might go late tonight.
Okay, so you're gonna debate food shops then, right?
Pardon?
You're gonna debate food shops on transmedicalism?
Yeah, on transmedicalism. As far as I know.
So, what's the deal? Can you give us a little bit of a teaser, trailer to the debate? What it's
Okay,
gonna be about exactly?
so so
I'm gonna try.
Food Shops posted a video reviewing like her old panels and stuff, and she was steel manning arguments like for and against transmedicalism. And
Mhm.
I reacted to that on stream, and then she reacted to my reaction, and it was floated that I like show up for a debate or something. And
Mhm.
I decided, okay, I'm gonna take some time and like do some research and put together like a proper uh, list of arguments against transmedicalism, just to make sure that I'm not showing up with just like platitudes or half baked
What are your
arguments.
pronouns again? Sorry to ask.
Oh, they them.
Okay.
And
All right.
yeah, that's basically it. I've watched some transmedicalist debates. I did read some articles, looked up some data. I've got a list of anti-transmedicalist arguments, and
Mhm.
one of the things that I noticed Food Shops was talking up her moderator Yuune, and then I saw just earlier today that
Yeah, I noticed. Yeah.
yeah, and she debated said moderator. The video is 57
Mhm.
minutes long, and I'm like, oh well, I should go over that, see what kind of arguments Yoon makes to see
Mhm.
like see what we got here, because that seems kind of
Mhm.
interesting. I want to make sure I have the strongest arguments that I can have.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, what are we watching right now?
We are watching Food Shops debating Yoon on transmedicalism. The video
Oh,
title
so that
is
moderator.
yeah. Mod confronts me on my non-binary takes. Debate with Yoon, and it's 57
Okay.
minutes.
Interesting. Okay, let's watch it. We're gonna give a joint commentary.
Okay, and tell me at any point if you want me to pause.
Yeah,
All right,
I'm gonna scream like a child.
awesome.
Are we watching this Hunter video or?
Well, it's more like I'm trying to figure out
Well, it's more like me procrastinating on working on the debate manifesto. Okay, that's what I'm doing.
Oh God, manifesto.
For what?
More
It's al-
manifestos. That's really
Wait.
It's
what
always
we need,
manifestos
guys.
I've
with
always
these
been
people.
planning on making a debate manifesto. Remember?
Well, what does that mean?
Basically, it's like a entire like all the debate tactics into one like booklet.
What is it, a
I can do
manifesto?
it for
Can
you
you
on one
pause?
page.
I don't know. That's just the word that they
Why does
use.
she call it manifesto? It's just an instruction manual, if that's the case.
That's just the word that they
It's a
use for like
tutorial.
essay or they'll substitute like essay and research document and this and that for manifesto. That's just the word they use.
I see. Interesting.
It's their in-group lingo.
Oh God. All right, fine.
They
Okay.
it's the school shooter aesthetic that DGG is aspiring to.
What?
I don't know.
Oh,
That's the vibe that I get.
debate brochure, I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah.
No.
Okay, we can continue.
I promise I could.
Because I want to have like links to video and timestamps in it to many different like debaters and stuff.
I don't even think I think this already exists.
Really?
Yeah.
Where? Who?
Well, I don't know if it's in you can just look at how professional debaters.
Nope. I want it in the cat version. The cat style.
Who are
of,
the
of, like
Who are the
spastic.
professional debaters?
Okay, I'm gonna take a guess. It's gonna be Hunter Avalone, Vosh, Destiny, like people like that. That's
Okay,
probably who she's referring to.
Professional debaters.
Yeah,
God,
that's my guess.
funny. Yeah. Okay.
In English.
I want it in my own writing style.
Okay.
I mean, you can do it. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying there's a lot of things you can reference for that.
Yeah.
Without relying on finding.
And also by the way, how do you debate like these conspiracy theory types who refer to like these research papers and then say like where does the funding come from or shit like that? How do you do it? How do you do it?
I mean, something being funded by something else proves nothing. So
I'm a professional debater.
Yeah, but then you're
That's
put
true.
on the
I
defensive.
debated almost no one.
You debated Lonerbox, and I think she would say Lonerbox is a professional debater.
Bro, and I did pretty well as well.
Yeah.
And we ended friendly after the debate, which is like a rarity in the debate.
Yeah, that's a W.
So I guess, yeah,
No,
Yeah.
not really.
we're gonna have another debate.
Yeah, it does. Wait, yeah, because you're put on defensive because then they're just constantly attacking you now, right?
I'm gonna turn you up.
Okay.
People demand it.
That's why you don't let them frame the conversation.
You're too
the whole time.
soft-spoken.
Yeah, I have to put up the gain on my mic. I also need a better mic.
You just tell them.
We
that
should get you a better mic.
providence
Everybody
of being
donates to
improved by everything on its
Arkael.
own,
How
and
can
then you
people
just
donate
attack
to
them.
you?
Wait,
Give me a
hold on.
link to...
Okay, it's Ko-fi, so ko-fi.com.
No, give me a link.
Oh,
give me a
yeah,
link.
I'll just send it to you.
And I link it. Yeah.
Doi. Here you go.
Yeah, everybody donate to Arkael so they can get a better mic. Donate, it's important. Microphone is important. Okay. We've done the important thing, which is a shilling for your interests, and we can now continue.
Based.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna share it on the Twitch as well, even though almost no one's watching on Twitch. Some people did actually chat, and I didn't see it. I think they left. Should pay more attention to the Twitch chat. Like, I've been not paying attention because usually nobody watches. I've been caught off guard when somebody actually did. Okay.
All right.
back.
Oh, there's a command for you.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but then they're just gonna say it's copium, right?
You can tell them they're coping and then attack them.
Do I go to
Like,
personal
just
attacks
because
after that?
Well, no, it doesn't have to be personal. You just attack their argument. Like, if they don't have solid evidence and they're relying on fucking funding sources
Yeah.
to prove anything, then they don't have a solid argument.
Okay.
So you can just present your solid argument and keep attacking theirs, and you win. Like, it's not that hard. Like, just because they can frame you a certain way doesn't mean you have to accept that framing for the whole conversation.
Yeah.
Like, you can just frame them back and you'd be correct. So who cares?
Okay.
Okay.
They're gonna.
Um,
When are they gonna start debating?
Yeah, it doesn't get to the debate right away, I guess. I hope it starts soon.
Okay, let's just see what happens.
Anyway,
having fun yet,
transmedicalism
Arkael?
is cringe.
Yes.
Okay.
Honestly, because it doesn't even seem like transmedicalism even means transmedicalism. Like, that's
Okay,
kind
here
of
we go.
the discussion we were having before.
What?
Like, it feels like transmedicalism means like I'm going to socially determine who is and isn't trans or non-binary,
True.
which is like not medical. Like, you know what I mean?
I just
Because like
all
it's
it is. Okay, all it is that Emma and I just think that these.
Okay, so that's
Can
kind
we
of like,
pause?
yeah. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say that trying to search and find out who is and who isn't trans feels like such a pointless endeavor.
It is. It's literally impossible. Like, by
Yeah.
definition, you can't know what's in somebody's head.
Yeah, it's like trying to find out who is fake and who's real. It feels like such a, I don't know, such a service to transphobes.
Mm-hmm.
And
So,
I don't know, not much besides that.
So when I approach the debate, there are like two possible approaches that I think I could take. And one of them is I can just like show up with my list of arguments and just kind of go through them. You know, just like I've got my intro statement and I can just rattle them off and then just kind of substantiate them one by one. Or I could just show up and just be like, I know nothing, and just ask questions and be like, I'm here to learn what you think and you can educate me. And I'm
Maybe the
still
second
undecided.
approach,
Yeah.
you know, like
Especially with
keep
having
in
seen
mind, food shops has a pretty specific way of debating.
yeah,
You've
having
probably
seen
seen
some of her
Yeah.
debates, I feel like the second approach is probably better because otherwise I'll
Mm.
end up getting caught in the weeds.
Yeah, like the one that I reacted to. It was a very bad debate.
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't know how to sort of talk to someone that basically creates arguments without any sort of logic to them.
Yeah.
You know?
At the same time, like if I'm just asking questions, like I don't want to be taken for like a ride. Like just have her like string me along like a million different paths, you know, where it's like
I mean, technically
they have to be
speaking,
very
you can just ask a question, and if she answers with something really weird or incorrect, you can just interrogate it further
yeah, that's true.
with more questions.
Yeah, and
Like
I do
what
have like a
Vosh did
list.
with that person. Like Vosh did that with this one person about what was the topic? Oh my gosh. Might have been Ukraine. Yeah, it was Ukraine. He just kept asking questions.
Mm-hmm.
Was a debate on Ukraine. It was very bad, but the person was very bad, but Vosh just kept asking questions basically.
Because like one of
And
the
sort of exposing that the person didn't know anything through asking questions.
yeah, that's kind of the goal. Because one of the big conclusions that I came to in my research was that transmedicalism is kind of a misnomer in that it's almost like scientism, where it's aestheticizing the appearance of being rooted in the medical industry and relying on medical standards when it actually completely rejects all of the like mainstream medical organizations standards on transgender healthcare and like definitions of what it means to be trans and what is gender dysphoria and gender identity.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so like the asking questions route could kind of go in the direction of like, well, what does being trans mean, and like and what would you rely on in order to determine that somebody is trans, and like and
And
what is your
not.
basis for that? Yeah.
Yeah.
And like if you're relying on doctors, then what would they rely on, et cetera, et cetera. And I think that might be a good
Yeah.
path to go down.
Yeah, basically, yeah, I agree.
Okay. All right, we'll continue.
Yeah, I guess we can. Yeah, we can
Figures.
continue.
Cringe. That's all it is.
Okay, but you can think they're cringe, but that doesn't mean you invalidate. But that doesn't mean you actually know if they're trans or not. Like, there's a difference
There's
between those
like
two things, right? 'Cause I think
genocide
what's
food
happening
shops.
is like you're seeing people who are like trenders, and you see them doing damage to real trans people.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is, I don't think that makes you a trans medicalist if you don't think they're trans. Like, that just means you don't think they're trans. Because, like, in a sense, we're all trans medicalists.
I fucking
No.
died. Sorry.
Okay, I'm sorry to hear that.
No, we're
'Cause, like,
we're
we all
not.
believe that.
Pause.
What does that mean?
We're not all transmedicalists. I don't think so. No, first of all, and second of all, transgender is such a ridiculous term. I don't even accept it. I don't accept this term. Transgender.
It's really stupid. Yeah.
Like,
I've-
come on, transgender. Come on. Like, it implies that being trans is trendy in some way, and that's ridiculous. There's
Yeah.
nothing trendy about being trans. Oh, so
Yeah.
trendy to be hated. It's so amazing. It's so cool. You should try it. You should try the new trend of being hated by everybody.
Yeah, getting so much social capital from being trans.
Believe that there is
Especially it's
a
a term thrown at non-binary people.
Yeah, really.
So it's like a double whammy. Cis people hate you, and some trans people hate you as well. Like, what a joy! What a trend to follow.
It's like they're jealous of like a Tumblr friend group or something. It's
Really?
like they think that's social privilege, having a Tumblr group.
Very, very. I don't know.
state of mind that we can verify as trans or non-binary,
Oops.
which is, in the case of non-binary, dysphoria or incongruence towards both genders.
Mhm.
And for trans people, it's
Stop playing with your
dysphoria or
phone.
incongruence towards one.
I mean, I
Your
sometimes
assigned
play with my
gender.
phone on streams,
Right.
so I'm guilty.
And it's a bit confusing when we say trans people, because non-binary people are trans people, but like when we say trans people, we typically mean like trans women or trans men.
Yeah.
But the category trans includes non-binary people, which is a bit of I think that's a big source of confusion for a lot of people. Which is why they think non-binary people aren't trans.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
don't know.
think
It's-
I don't know what the
uh,
confusion is here, to be quite honest.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
I just don't. What's the confusion?
it
What is
kind
there
of
to be confused about here?
it kind of seems like
If you
Yuune is
would
like.
just- yeah.
It kind of seems like Yuune is trying to appease food shops or like meet her halfway or something.
Right.
That's kind of the impression that I'm getting. Maybe I'm off base. I guess
Yeah.
we'll see.
Like, maybe if we agree that a trans person is a person that does not identify with the gender assigned to them at birth, then suddenly all the confusion should be done away with, no? And it's a pretty simple definition to go with as well.
Yeah.
No? Right?
That makes
And
sense
it
to me.
just encapsulates non-binary people or any other identity. So it's pretty simple. I don't know. I don't know where the confusion sort of comes from. Maybe Yuune will explain it, right?
Yeah, I hope so.
Okay, let's go then.
So what do you think then? What do you think my thing should be?
I think you should advocate for not social purity testing people,
What?
because there's no utility to that whatsoever.
I mean, I agree with that.
Yeah.
It's pointless.
No.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Okay, let me put it this way. There's no exact moment when you know you're trans, right? Like it's there's literally the LGBTQ. The Q stands for questioning. So if someone is questioning and they look like
Wait,
they're
I
trans,
thought it
and the
was
question is-
queer.
Yeah, I think it's queer.
Questioning.
I think Yuune might be
No,
mistaken.
what? Yeah, I always thought it was queer.
you a person.
Isn't queuing queer? What the fuck?
Oh, I think it can mean both. Anyway,
Oh, they addressed it.
Stupid.
like say this person, like pull it up on the stream. I just googled non-binary person.
Yeah. I mean, most people aren't gonna be that judgmental. You know what I
Maybe
mean?
both. Okay, fair enough.
No, but I'm not talking about most people. I'm talking about you.
Yeah, but that person. Yeah, but I'm just saying. Okay, I
Definitely
wouldn't be able to
queer.
tell, but I'm just saying like some people are just gonna be cringe, right?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything though. Like, what are you gonna go into a debate with Hunter and be like, some people are cringe, Hunter? Like, that's not a position.
Like
Like,
some
what is your
people,
prescription for how we should treat
some
people
people
who
just
identify one way
some people
and
are
look
just
another way?
gonna some people are just completely gonna be girls. You know what I mean? Like girls, right? Act like
What?
What does
girls,
that?
be
Who?
girls, and look like girls, and act like girls, and be girls. You know what I mean?
And for the people
And
that
then,
don't,
huh?
And what?
and for the people that
I
don't,
don't.
Good for them.
I don't know what food is arguing here.
I don't know either. What's the point being made here? I don't. I what? I don't get it. Maybe I'm too slow. Maybe I'm too ill still to get it. Maybe I'm too much in the genocide mode to get things like this.
Yeah, maybe this is too big brain.
Exactly. I'm gonna have to
I
go back to
identify
my simple topics. Genocide.
as female regardless.
Yeah, but the problem is that like if they're gonna act like girls, be like girls, and look like girls, but then like because like they just harp on like the entire transgender thing, it just harms the movement. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's the problem,
Yeah,
right?
but
I don't know.
Like
I
giving
don't know what you mean, to be honest.
Yeah.
It also assumes that there's one correct way to be a girl. That's just
Yeah, that seems to be baked into not just this, but past arguments that I've heard her make as well, where she seems to be kind of relying on just the assumption of like very rigid gender norms where
yeah.
I think she's kind of
Very
just
interesting.
buying into the kind of conservative assumption of like, oh, girls should act this way and boys should act this
Yeah.
way.
Hmm. I mean, it did sort of come out in the earlier video when she did a very masked voice and started swearing like a sailor, and then did the maximum femme voice and did a
Mhm.
very delicate and without swearing type of speaking. I
And
guess there's
yeah.
something there to be talked about.
like giving them
Okay,
the
I guess
benefit
we
of the
can-
doubt is great because I know your argument, right? Because you're saying the argument, the entire argument is that you
No,
give
no,
them the benefit
sorry.
of the doubt, right?
Hold on, no, that's not my argument.
Wait, is it
My
not?
argument is that those people, it's not about giving them the benefit of the doubt. It's not even about believing them. It's the fact that we cannot externally validate or invalidate their gender. So there's no way for us to judge.
Yeah, I mean that's true.
Wait,
Yeah,
But we've
it's
already talked about it. Yeah,
it's
It's
there's no
true.
way to know somebody's identity.
yeah.
yeah, sure,
Only
but
they
no,
can
but
know
yeah,
it. Only they can know it.
Yeah.
The person
Can
that
Yeah.
rely
has the identity.
Yeah.
on.
yeah, but no one's making an argument
Yes,
to
Sophie, that is the
shame them,
argument.
right?
I think. Okay, so just to clarify, it sounds like I'm making a self-ID argument, right?
Yes.
But
Good.
the problem with the self-ID argument isn't that trans people are experiencing some kind of subjective experience that only they can validate. But the problem is that people say what makes you trans is saying you're trans and not that internal experience. What I'm referencing when I say a trans person is someone with that internal experience, not someone who says they're trans. That's the only distinction.
What's the difference?
What?
Okay, this is something that I've caught on to before. In her reaction to my video, Food Shops characterized me as a self-ID person, and also
Right?
has characterized like Demon Mama and other people in that sphere as like self-ID. And
Yeah.
I think
I don't have
they're
a problem being characterized as a self-ID person.
right, but
personally.
their characterization of quote unquote self of like the left believing in self-ID is
Right?
they think that means that you being trans is defined by saying you are trans as opposed to having an internal identity that is
Well, how do you
trans.
know what's the difference between these two things? If you declare it, you say it, that it
They
indicates an internal experience. How do you
right
prove an internal experience? I
they
mean,
think it's like a semantic thing. They're saying like, oh well, that's logically inconsistent because simply saying it is like a magic spell that creates the transness in and of itself, and that doesn't make any sense, and that creates all these
no,
logical
you're communicating your internal experience.
right. And what Yoon is saying here is that they're not saying that the speech act is what creates the transness. It's the internal
it's
identity
not.
itself. Right. And what's really interesting is that Yoon is saying, I am not self-ID, whereas Food Shops characterizes me as self-ID, and yet I agree completely with Yoon. I am 100% on Yoon's side here. So if I'm self-ID, then Yoon is as well. So it's very
Right.
interesting. So that's just kind of like an interesting way that that like us on the quote unquote self-ID side just get like completely mischaracterized.
Because it's weird. Like, a speech to me just indicates that you're communicating, or as Demon Mama says, declaring your
Yeah.
internal experience.
Yeah, it's just a complete straw man.
Right. It's a very weak argument.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm gonna snipe your debate when it happens.
It came from that Bogardus thing, and yeah, I think that's where it came from, that Vosh Bogardus debate.
Oh, okay.
I think that's where it all
The
started.
philosopher guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure the
Agua guy, right?
yeah, I'm sure the argument existed before that, but I think that's what popularized it in this space.
Oh, I just got from dinner, so I missed some stream. It's okay, Lisa. Welcome back. Now I want to eat dinner. It's okay. I'm visiting mom tomorrow. I'm gonna go get dinner at mom's.
All right, now we continue.
Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, I can repeat it. The problem with the self-ID argument is that people think saying you're trans is what makes you trans, but it's not saying you're trans that makes you trans. It's the fact that you have a subjective experience of a trans person, which is to say gender incongruence. That's what makes you trans. So when people are, I don't know what the proper form of the self-ID argument is. If you want to call it that, sure. But like, it's not the same as the quote-unquote self-ID argument. That's cringe. Because can you point out the problem with my argument?
I feel like I just don't get it, but I don't know.
What?
What part don't you understand?
I don't know. It just
What?
feels like too many words. But
Wait, she's joking, right?
Okay.
That's a joke, right? That's a bit. That's a streamer entertainer bit, right?
I think she's very tired.
Okay.
She's eepy.
Okay.
what? I just don't get it.
What? Okay, how do I
I'm
understand everything you said, but you don't understand what I said, even though we're all using the same words?
I don't know. Maybe I just been streaming for too long and my mind
How
is
long is
bogged.
too long?
Dude, I don't know. You just came on stream, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you have a fresher mind. I feel like the entire day I've been just debating with the fucking boys club and then with Nine and shit. So it's like, okay.
Okay, well, I want you to understand this. Is that okay if I want you to understand this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, President Sunday
So
raised
people
me
who
today.
are trans people are people with the internal experience of gender incongruity, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
if that's what makes them trans, it's not saying they're trans, because saying you're trans and having the internal experience of gender incongruity are different things.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I agree with that.
So I'm not making the progressive self-ID argument.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
are,
Okay,
though.
that's literally
But
what I
yeah,
said.
they
but-
really are.
Okay. Wait. Okay, yeah,
Oh,
I get
God.
it.
It's the
I get
same
what you mean,
thing.
yeah.
It's functionally the
Yeah.
same
Okay, so
argument.
when you say it sounds like I'm making a
Yeah.
self-ID argument, okay, now that you know I'm not, what
Yeah.
is the problem with my argument?
There's no problem with your argument.
Okay, so let
I agree with you.
me present
Okay.
the entailment of that argument.
So you are a
Because
self-ID
we
advocate now.
cannot
Nice.
externally
Based.
validate people's identity
Based, yeah.
because it points to a subjective experience that only they can know, an internal qualia.
Wait, stop
That means
using
that
stop
there's
using
no
big
point.
words. Okay, stop.
Okay,
You
you
need
know
to
what I mean?
stop.
A subjective
Can't you at least
experience.
just go through the extra effort of simplifying stuff? Just my dude.
When I'm talking to you, you know what you've heard these words before.
Stop. You're using hood language and I
Which
don't
big
understand
word?
that. Okay, alright, just
Which big word did I use? Which word that was too big? I'll
qualia.
stop
What the
using that
fuck
one.
is qualia? Stop
Internal
using.
subjective experience. Okay, basically.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so because let me repeat what I said because you lost it, Shirley.
Can you pause?
Yes.
Because we can.
How am I going to
Yuune
do a
here
debate?
said that. Yuune here said that we're all a bit transmedicalist, but from the argument that food shops agreed with, it feels like the opposite is true. We're all
Okay.
self-ID
I think what Yoon was
in
trying
reality.
Okay, I think
It's
what
just that
Yoon
people
was...
don't understand the argument.
Yeah. I think what Yoon was trying to say was that you could say that we're all transmedicalist if you define gender incongruence as gender dysphoria. That
Right.
if I'm being like really charitable to Yoon.
Charitable, yeah.
Yeah, if you were to twist the definitions in that way. But then transmedicalism doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Then words mean nothing at that point.
Ashik, I hope she doesn't get into doing debates. She's gonna make herself look like a clown. You're gonna debate food shops, aren't you?
Yeah, I'll do the debate. I'm not sure how productive it's going
Nice.
to be, but I'll do it.
Do you have like a date set up or?
No, it's just going to be a casual call-in.
Wow. Wanna snipe it. I'm gonna snipe it real bad.
All right, I'll let you know.
Okay. All right, let's go. Let's
Can
go.
only-
Let's do this. Let's
internally verify the trans identity and cannot externally verify it. That means that social purity testing is impossible.
Yeah.
And the entailment of that, and my conclusion is that we shouldn't do it.
Okay.
Which means that
Yeah.
if we shouldn't do it, people who
Then don't do it.
match our preconceived notion of the gender category, like female or male, should still be allowed to use the pronouns that they wish without suffering any social repercussions. Is there any problem so far?
Like if
Shouldn't
somebody
be.
completely looks like a girl, I guess, they should be able to use he, him,
Yes.
because we cannot determine their internal feelings,
Yes.
even though they
Because
make
they could be questioning.
even though they make no effort.
No, but the point isn't that what makes you trans is an effort. Like there's no effort in the definition of trans. You understand that,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
It's like trans doesn't mean I'm trying really hard.
And food
Yeah.
shops just agreed to the definition of trans too.
That is a big thing that I just find very weird when people talk about putting in effort, whatever that
Yeah.
means. I mean,
Yeah,
you can put
really.
effort for yourself, but that's a totally different topic, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you feel like your ideal self is like this or that, and you move in that direction, so you put in effort, that's totally different than trying to prove that you're really something through that effort. Technically speaking, in both cases, you're putting in quote unquote effort, but those are two different things.
That's actually really interesting because she describes herself as a light transmedicalist, and she seems to
Transmedicalist, light, sugar free.
yeah, and she seems to believe in gender identity, which is not something that transmedicalists generally believe in.
Right.
Because she just agreed that trans people are trans by nature of having an internal gender identity. Although she kind of goes back on it a little bit, but the fact that she agreed to it in the first place is interesting. So that's something I can work with.
It's just a matter of explaining to people that what Yune's here saying is basically the self-ID argument.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like I'm going to try to avoid trigger words, I think, because in her coverage of my video, as soon as I said the word genocide, the stream turned off. That was the end of the coverage. She was like, "Oh."
When did you use the
off.
word genocide?
I was talking about how Republicans are not genuine in their quote unquote concerns about trans people, and I said the point is the cruelty. The point is this. The point is genocide. And as soon as I said genocide, that was the end of the engagement. So,
right. Okay.
I think I'm going to try to avoid words that are triggering to that sphere.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. Well, let's continue.
It means you have the internal experience of gender incongruity.
It's like because so your argument is because they're questioning, right?
No, well, and it couldn't that's just one situation. It could be that is a legitimate expression of their female identity. And you can say like, okay, well, that doesn't match my perception of female identity, but it's theirs. It's internal.
Hold on. By their entire thing is transitioning without
Delphi.
Wait, hold on. They're okay. Whoa.
Hold on.
So they're not physically transitioning. Right?
They can.
Like physically.
Yeah,
they
someone
can.
who...
But they're just using pronouns differently.
Yes.
She froze there for a second.
My argument is that
she needs
that's
to
the
think
only
about it.
way to...
I get what you mean, but like, are they doing it permanently for the rest of their life and they're not doing anything with their body?
Well, yeah, because what if that's their...
This is the thing that gets me. Like there are cis people that look like there are cis women that look like conventionally like how you would consider like a
masculine.
man to look. Yeah, like
masculine.
They
look masculine.
Right, and vice versa. And nobody says anything. Like nobody would say that's a man or they're
I mean some would, but
some would, but like
some bigots would.
Some bigots would, certainly. But like generally speaking,
generally speaking, no. That's
generally speaking, no. You wouldn't say that somebody is trans because of that.
Sophie is sassy. Good. We're in the genocide zone today.
So that's a question that I think I could ask is like why are you holding a double standard?
Yeah. Interestingly enough, Polish trans organizations are really good on this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, really harping on the point that you don't need to transition medically to be trans. So that's interesting. All the orgs that I've seen, Polish orgs, say that you don't really need to do anything to your body to be trans.
Well, as far as I understand, that's like what all the modern guidelines say as well.
Like, if you're doing it for yourself, not to prove something, as far as I'm concerned. If that makes sense.
Well, like the W path, for example, says persons must be able to freely express their gender identity, whether or not that identity conforms to the expectations of others. W path further recognizes the right of all people to identity documents consistent with their gender identity, including those documents which confer legal gender status.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like there's like a ton of stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're going.
Sorry, fuck. My voice is dying. Like
They're not changing anything from that point.
Why do they have to change something though? Like, why do you think that something has to be changed? If the definition
That's
of a
a good
trans person
question.
is someone who internally experiences something.
So even if there is, let's just say this person really is a faker. Okay, let's just say this person really is somebody who is disingenuous. All right, who doesn't give a fuck about anything and thinks this is just like a cool trendy thing. You're okay with that?
Who would think that?
Yeah.
Who would think that? That it's a cool trend. Oh, whatever.
Let's say it is. Let's say there are some people that do that. Let's say there's like some minority of people that do that. So what?
Okay.
Like what show me the harm. It's like people are sneaking into women's bathrooms. Okay, show me the harm.
Exactly. I already spotted the person that we're gonna be rating, if we're gonna be rating on Twitch.
It's not a matter of being okay with it or not. Like, I guess I wouldn't be okay with people pretending to be a thing they aren't. For the same reasons that you are. My point is that there's no way to legitimately verify that person. Like, in the absence of them saying, yeah, I'm just pretending, there's no way.
Okay, even if there is no legitimate way to verify that person, do you sure, we can't shame that one person, right? We can't really demonize that one person, obviously, because I'm against shaming, right? Do you think we should at least criticize transgenders as a whole?
The reason that's... Oh, you're not picking up any static or anything, are you?
Me?
Yeah, sorry, I was just hearing stuff on... Okay, I was hearing stuff on my headphones. The reason that's a bad argument from food is because that stigmatizing the concept of trans, quote-unquote trans trenders, without individually bullying any single one, will still cause others to bully individual people. Obviously. Like, you're going to create a culture where you're stigmatizing gender nonconformity. That seems so obvious to me. I don't know how she would miss that.
Yeah. It's so cool and trendy to get people like the Smegma dude in my chat and speaking bigoted things in Polish to me. That's so trendy and cool.
Still
Nothing
in there?
Nicer. No, not anymore, but
okay.
It's so trendy.
No,
and
but
cool
when you're
still.
criticizing trans trenders, you're really talking about the people who don't match your idea of what a woman should look like.
Yeah, but at the same time, we can acknowledge
like, that's what
that...
you mean by trans trenders.
Called out.
Yeah, but at the same time, right? Like, what it means to be politically effective and appealing to like the broad majority of people is that a lot of people aren't going to understand. Like, okay, even though...
Yep.
strategy to be politically effective is not to appeal to a broad amount of people. That's not the winning strategy, because what if the broad number of people are just bigots who hate trans people? Like, ideally, for effective political action, you appeal to the people that can make changes. Like I don't know, in the US, it would be like your state officials, etc. No,
Yeah.
like you appeal to those, not to a wide number of people. Because, as again, I'm gonna paraphrase that one good sentence from the early 90s in a Polish newspaper. Democracy is not the mob rule of a majority. That is mistaken. A real democracy is choosing a group of representatives to the government that will protect the interests of the most vulnerable minorities, even if it does not agree with the sensibilities of the majority.
It's kind of buying into this idea that political change is just handed down to people by like the ruling class. Like, oh, here you stand in line and you take your number, and then somebody on top is
Right.
like, here you go, like a bread line or something. And that's just not how
Right.
political change happens.
You want representatives because we have a representative democracy, right? So you want the representatives to protect the interests of the minorities.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it.
And
Thank you,
also,
Sophie.
and you don't just fight to appeal to you don't just appeal to the broadest number of people. You fight to change public perception.
Yeah, right. Exactly. It's a good point as well.
Right? Even
Oops.
though, like, okay, this is like the idea of woman, right? A lot of people are going to share that idea of woman anyway, right? Like
Okay, a lot of people's hold on.
they're not gonna share like your woke progressive definition of woman or non-binaryism or whatever the fuck, right? Like you
Woke,
in order to appeal to people, like you have to be able to make a good argument for transgender people. And you
okay,
have
so
to
just
make
say that they say that you and other trans people are male because that's how most people
Yeah.
think trans people are. Just say you're biologically male. That's the same argument you're making, right? You're saying for the sake of political expediency, we should ignore
we
what
don't
the actual depth thing
but,
is and just try to
but I'm
appeal to
saying
people's
okay, wait,
ignorant
hold on.
understanding.
But we don't have to be that extreme, right? Like at least with gender.
Oh, now here's the line. Okay.
Yeah. No, because she got
now that affects me.
because she
That's
got
where
up the
line
ladder.
is. Okay.
Oh well, whoa! I
Right?
got up the ladder, so I can kick it down. But all of those ones beneath
Sure.
me.
Sure. Yeah, it affects me now, so I guess let's not go that far. It's
Yeah.
funny.
If political
It's sad.
expediency is what matters, then why shouldn't all trans people just go in the closet? Like, if that's the argument we're making.
True. Like, that's ridiculous. I'm sorry. It's not about you already said it. It's not about appealing. It's about changing people's perception. Like,
Yeah.
if doing things was about just appealing to people, then we'd never get anything done, ever. To be quite honest.
Mm-hmm.
Because during the segregation era, I'm pretty sure that a pretty wide perception was that the segregation was the norm, and so
So this is ultimately like an argument of separatism, right? Like, it's a movement of exclusion of everyone get in line and not those ones, it's these ones get their rights first. That's kind of the argument she's making, I think.
Lisa makes a good argument in the chat. Excuse me, I use ignorance, but if a person changes their pronouns but not their body, wouldn't that be considered social transition and would be enough to be trans? I would say, yeah.
Yeah, that is social transition. I'm not entirely sure.
Say, yeah.
I'm not sure where Food Shop's bar is for what is the acceptable level of transition that she would say is like, okay, well, now you're a real trans person. That's something I'll have to ask her.
Right.
Because every
Still
transmedicalist has like a different set of goalposts.
Yeah. Like turfs,
Mm-hmm.
interestingly enough. There are a lot of
Gender
parallels there.
dysphoria.
There are a lot of parallels. And also, interestingly enough, transmedicalist organizations love to work with turf organizations. I have like a whole thing about that.
That's incredible. That's so shocking to me.
Yeah,
I cannot believe.
it's unbelievable.
Damn. Yeah, it's what a twist. What a twist.
That is a strong ground to stand on, right? Because that is a scientific claim. Does that make sense?
But I'm still using gender dysphoria.
But then,
I'm not using...
no. But then the problem when we're defending people like the he him with like the he him with the feminine features kind of thing is that people cannot grasp in their minds, right? A lot of people are unable
being able to transition.
Oh no,
yeah,
a femboy.
sure, but people are able to.
So why
grasp...
is that a valid argument?
Wait, can I just be able to finish? You're getting heated a little bit, okay? So people sure, a lot of people are going to be unable to grasp the transition thing, right? But I think people are able to grasp the transition thing these days a lot more than, you know, somebody who is unable to put in the effort to transition, but is just going to straight up be using, you know, different pronouns based on self-ID, you know, and that's it. They're not going to be putting in any effort. That's it, right?
So you think that people can accept the idea of expanding gender categories to include trans people, but they can't accept it including people who don't look like a typical woman?
Yeah, but yes, because at least when you transition, you're transitioning to the broadly accepted, you know, like socially constructed category, right? That people are already familiar with, right?
It is such a sad argument.
Yeah,
okay?
but when you are
it is.
Can you
holding
pause?
it to the he him thing with the feminine
Can you
features,
pause?
people are gonna be like, wait a second, I don't
can we
really
pause?
understand this because you're using masculine.
Hello?
Yep, hello?
Yeah. Yeah. It's so weird to appeal to what's broadly accepted. Like, it's the worst possible route that you can take with anything. Wanting to appeal to, like, that just, I don't know. I think that when somebody goes that route, it sort of betrays, I don't know if it's the right term to use, an intellectual laziness almost.
Mm-hmm.
To me, at least. Like, let's just appeal to what's widely accepted. But that's a horrible way to go about these things, because the widely accepted thing might be horrible. So what do you do then? Where do you go from there? If the widely accepted thing is just very bad.
It kind of speaks to me of
that?
like a lack of sociological imagination. Like,
yeah,
just an inability to imagine a society changing at all.
Right. And intellectually dishonest, says Sophie. It's just weak.
Oops.
Skill
Okay.
and pronouns with feminine features, so that's whack.
Okay. People who are trans but don't pass.
Trans who don't pass. Well, I mean, aren't they in the effort to? So eventually they will get there, right? Yeah,
but the effort isn't what people are looking at, and no, eventually they won't get there.
Eventually they won't get there.
Yeah, just because you're trying to transition doesn't mean you're gonna pass to most people.
Yeah, but the thing
what
is,
you're saying is that those people shouldn't be. We should leave those people behind. It's the logical conclusion of what you're proposing here is that the only people who are legitimately
yeah, she's creating a stigma for anybody who doesn't like conventionally pass.
True, like me.
trans are the people who fit in with like gender normativity. Those are the people that we should affirm. But the people who don't, we should try to socially discourage so as not to damage the legitimacy of the people who can fit in.
Right, but we're talking about being disingenuous or not, right? Because at least the people who tried to pass but end up not passing, they at least tried their best. You know
No,
what I mean?
we're talking about trans rights. We're not talking about separating the real from the fake. Like that can be a part of
Yeah.
it, but the overall goal of the movement is for trans people
Yeah.
to gain acceptance.
Wait, true.
So if you're
Yeah,
leaving
wait,
trans
yeah,
people
yeah.
behind
Wait,
in
wait,
the
wait,
process of
wait,
doing
wait.
so, you're not doing
Hold
that.
on, hold on, true, right? But this is part of it,
No.
right? For example, if we're advocating for something like trans rights, right? Then this matters, right? For example, you can make an argument for the sake of political efficacy, right? That you can say, yeah, this trans woman right here, she made an active effort to transition.
Food seems to be jumping back and forth between what trans people are and what we should say trans people are. Like,
Yeah, Sophie.
she
correct.
seemed to concede at the beginning that trans people are their gender identity, and then now is like
Yeah.
backtracking to say like, oh well, it's
Yeah.
like politically inconvenient, so we should lie, kind of. That kind of seems
Just
like what she's
weird.
saying.
The effort argument is just so weak to me,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Unless she
Even if
misspoke
we
at the
grant the
beginning.
whole effort thing, what if the person does not have the means to put in the effort? What then?
Yeah. Yeah,
Just-
really.
Some people just don't have access to certain things. So what now?
Well, that depends on the transmedicalist. Some of them will say that as long as you want to put in the effort, then that's enough. And food shops might believe that.
Oh.
She might say like, oh well, as long as you want to, then that's okay. But
How do you gauge that?
yeah, that's such a cop out.
Weird. I don't. That's weird.
And it also it's like such a non-answer because it still is going to end up stigmatizing those people, even if you say, oh, that person's valid. Like you have no idea of knowing whether or not they want to. Like you're still going to end up bullying them or creating an environment where they are bullied.
Yeah. Yeah.
All it does
Yeah,
is
I
drive
agree.
people into the closet or force people to transition who may not want to.
Yuune's doing pretty well in this debate, I will say.
Yeah, Yuune's doing really good.
Yeah, I think this is going pretty well. I'm gaining a positive view of the person.
Mm-hmm.
The most she could, but you know what, she ended up not passing, and that's okay, right? Because even though she ended up not passing, she still tried the best she could. It is what it is. Maybe she transitioned too late because she was too old by the time she started. You know what I
So
mean?
you're saying that people can accept that, but they absolutely cannot accept a more inclusive definition of gender.
Yes,
Which,
because yeah,
okay,
yes.
they're accepting a more
Because-
inclusive
okay,
definition
hold on.
of gender.
Hold on,
Wait, you
hold
keep
on,
interrupting
hold
me,
on.
but saying you're interrupting. Hold
Sure,
on.
okay, yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
It like you're saying that people can accept a more inclusive definition of gender that includes trans people that don't pass, but they can't accept a more inclusive definition of gender that includes trans people that don't pass.
Yes. The reason is because
It's the same thing.
yes, because at least with the trans woman that gave the effort, she at least gave an effort, and people respect people who gave an effort.
Bigots,
Does that make
bigots
sense?
I
don't care
know.
about
There's
effort, by the
absolutely
way.
no evidence for that.
Yeah, they do not care. This is only an internal transmedicalist thing. The idea that like transphobes or conservatives give a shit about this is complete
Effort.
cope. Yeah.
Yeah. Good luck. But I put in the effort. Oh yeah, well you'll never be a woman or whatever.
Yeah, they do not care.
Here you go.
You can look at half of the country, all Republicans virtually do not accept trans people who do pass, let alone the ones that don't.
Sure, but
So
I'm
we
just
have
saying.
zero evidence for that
Right,
claim
right.
whatsoever.
Okay, wait, that's actually going in my research document. I have to look that up. That might be useful to have.
Yeah? What goes?
Wait, hold on. I want to write that down.
Who do pass, let alone the ones that don't.
Sure, but
Wait.
Republicans virtually do not accept trans people who
True,
do
Lisa,
pass,
you're
let alone
right.
the ones that don't.
sure.
Transmedicalists should take notes from racism. Yeah.
Wait, I'm writing that down. Look into Republicans Don't accept trans people who pass versus don't pass. I don't know if such stats exist, but that was cited, so I'm going to look into that.
I mean, I agree with Yuune once again that bigots
Yeah, I
don't
don't think.
accept trans people that pass, quote unquote, not to
Yeah,
mention those that do.
I
Yeah, I
I
agree
agree
with
with
that.
that.
Yeah.
I hope I can get that stat because that would be super useful. But I have no idea.
But
So
I'm
we
just
have
saying,
zero evidence for that
right,
claim
right.
whatsoever.
Right, but at least okay, when you're demanding empirical evidence of something like, okay, would somebody be able to accept somebody who would rather accept like, okay, somebody who would try to give an effort and not pass versus somebody who is like feminine and has he him pronouns. I don't know where the fuck I'm able to find something like empirical evidence for that, okay? But I'm just saying, right? All I'm saying is that, like, just logically wise, okay, do you think somebody would be able to perceive something more for, like, let's just say a good faith effort for trying to fit into like societal gender roles versus somebody who gave no effort whatsoever into something that doesn't even fit into societal like gender roles whatsoever?
Yeah, you're presupposing that someone has to fit into societal gender norms in order to be valid,
What we're talking
which is
about
not the
political
case. We
efficacy,
already
right?
remember at the start of this argument, we acknowledge that the validity of trans people wasn't independent of how other people viewed them.
Wait, hold on, I'm a little bit lost
And
now.
yet
Do you
you're
know where we're
still,
at?
yes, you're saying right now that trans people have to fit into gender normative, like appearance wise, they have to fit into that.
Yes, because it would help political
But
efficacy. Yes.
we already acknowledge that that's not what being trans even means. So in doing so, we're just saying that, okay, some trans people who are valid, but they don't fit into the normative conceptions of gender, those people are fucked.
I
And
would
that's
say,
like an
yeah, sure,
unacceptable
yeah, sure, yeah,
statement, like
sure, yeah,
clearly on
sure.
its face.
Yeah, sure. I would say, I would argue that being, okay, sure, if we were to separate like transgender and transsexual strictly within the sense of like the queer community, I would say that distinction and that separation is only useful within the queer community because we know that lingo. You know what I mean? However, outside of the queer community, that lingo is no longer useful, and we should just refer to everything as just transgender in general. Does that make sense?
Wait, but what does that have to do with saying that like we
Like,
have
okay,
to
okay,
encourage?
like for example, right, inside the queer community, we're gonna make the distinction, right, for the sake of like distinction between like transsexualism and transgenderism because we want to make the distinction or distinction between people who have dysphoria versus people who don't have dysphoria, right? But however, outside of the queer community, people don't know what the fuck transsexualism is. So people are only going to be using the term transgenderism, right? So when people use the term transgenderism,
Oh
people
God,
only think of
transgenderism
people
is such a
with
no.
gender dysphoria
Yeah.
and people who
That's a horrible
transition
term.
into like, you know, they're the gender that they want, right? Like which is like trans male and trans female, right?
What?
So the more we fit into
It's like she's getting all
What?
her. It's like she's getting everything from the Daily Wire.
What the hell is going on? All of a sudden, what? Trans male? What the hell?
I'm gonna rewind
Oh,
that.
where did that come from?
Hold on.
them, right? So
Where
when
did
people use the
that
term
come from?
transgenderism, people only think of people with
Transgenderism.
gender dysphoria and people who transition into like, you know, they're the gender that they want, right? Like which is like trans male and trans female.
Damn
Right?
it, food shops.
So the more we fit into that thing, the more politically effective it will be. That's it. And we haven't even gotten
Whoa.
past like the first step of that first, and people are already passing like
Whoa.
anti-transgender legislation, and you're already skipping to
What is that even?
Whoa.
I'm not sure what to do with that.
Same. It's just nonsense. That's the problem with food shops. You get, I don't mean to be mean, you just get incoherent nonsense. That's the big problem. Good luck.
Yeah.
That's all that I can tell you. Good luck.
Yeah.
Damn. All right.
That wasn't even a
Let's go
response.
with
That wasn't even a response to what Yoon said.
trans male, trans female, transgenderism. Jesus. Where did that come from?
To the
All
step
right,
where
let's go.
we
Let's
have to fit into
continue.
like that crazy shit. So it's like you're skipping already a few steps ahead before we're even accomplishing like the first thing, which is crazy.
Would you say that black people who are like saying that black people should have equal rights were skipping ahead because like they should be fighting for labor rights first?
I think
I think like
that
legitimately representing your movement is more important than like trying to not legitimately represent the people in your movement for the sake of political expediency. I think you're just shooting yourself in the foot for no reason, and you're making it so that the people who are at the back of the line don't have the future that you do.
I think that
Maybe you
it
should be
is
the one
important to
streaming.
take steps one at a time first and to appeal to moderates.
That was mean. I'm sorry.
But you can appeal to, you can do both. Like again, you're assuming that moderates will just will never accept the premise that you can expand gender categories past a certain point, and we don't really have any reason to believe that.
Yeah, but at the end of the day,
So why?
yeah, but at the end of the day, if you are unable to get, you know, moderates to even accept the first step before moving on to the second step, then it is like a losing battle, right?
No, we don't have any evidence for that whatsoever that it's a losing battle.
Yeah, but then you
Again,
don't have any evidence for your side either, right?
No,
Okay, that's not true. This is something that I could press on because I've got lots of evidence of like self-ID laws passing. I've got evidence of medical guidelines supporting the self-ID position. So that'll be super useful. Yeah.
No, I do.
Yeah,
My
what
evidence is
do you
that they're
have?
already, we're moving towards trans acceptance, right? And that is on the basis of the idea that you can expand gender categories to include people who are trans. That's the evidence.
Yeah,
We
but
don't,
then
what we don't have evidence of is that
but the
at a certain point they're going to
yeah.
stop.
Yeah, but
That's what we don't have evidence for.
but the crazy thing that you're hinging this entire thing on is that you want to be able to have like a feminine looking like a really feminine person looking person. You're not even talking about like whatever the fuck, right? You're talking about like a person who fully looks like a hot girl or whatever the fuck, right? Who is gonna go by he him pronouns, right?
Okay.
Which do you think is harder for people to accept? The idea that people can change their biology, or that people can change the social construction of gender and how they fit into it? Which do you think would be harder for people?
She's really trying to like paint this kind of inflammatory picture to like,
Yeah.
I don't know, trigger somebody in the audience or something. I'm not sure what's going on here.
Yeah.
As if that's like an
Hot
argument.
girl.
Yeah.
Hot girl. Or
As
whatever.
As if that'll like substantiate anything.
Hot
For
girl.
people to accept.
Some like it hot.
Definitely harder to accept the gender, like the gender thing, right? I mean the
Why,
social
when it's
thing.
changed so much already?
When it's changed so much already, how so?
The inclusion of people who change their biology is new.
Wait, give an example of the changing the gender thing.
Yeah, the existence of trans people and the fact that
He's very hostile of
acceptance
trans men
is
who are feminine.
broadly increasing
Agreed.
is evidence of
Which
the
is
fact
not
that
good.
people are accepting of the idea of expanding gender categories to include things that they previously hadn't.
Yeah, but I would then argue that something such as so crazy, such as like dynamically dynamically as opposed as like pronouns and like extremely effeminate and feminine features are so opposed to each other that it's just such a hard battle to win or to fight for.
According to who?
And the conservatives can easily weaponize that.
But you could have made the
here's
same
the thing.
anti-progress arguments throughout every civil rights movement
Here's
in
the thing.
history.
Here's the thing. You can easily make an argument for women to wear t-shirts and for women to wear suits, right? Yes, I agree with that. But the thing is that it would be much more harder to make an argument for women to have he, him pronouns.
And no one said it was. What's easy isn't the point of a civil rights movement. It's hard.
Exactly.
What was that? Yeah.
It's easy. I mean, that's a good point. Yeah.
It's like
Damn.
would slavery have been abolished if they thought it was going to be like easy to do?
Do what?
Like
Good
would
points, Randy
yeah.
String.
would people have like fought to end slavery if like they had stopped at whether or not it was going to be easy?
That's yeah. What's the easiest thing? Like, come on. Come on. Come on, please. It's never about what's easy. It's about what's right.
That's such like a
And
that's
and
such
what's
an
right is left.
that's such an I never get out of my gamer chair like political strategy.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't even have
Hard
a
to
gamer
gain
chair,
right.
but neither here nor there.
Yeah, I've just got like a regular office chair.
Same. And it's
For
rickety and
people who
crickety.
are being
Please
oppressed.
donate.
What is the ease of you like that doesn't relate at all?
Yeah, but I'm just saying it's not like Martin Luther King tried to like argue for reparations for black people, right? Or did he? I don't know if he did.
Yeah, like
But it's not like he tried to appeal to what's
he wasn't arguing
widely
for
popular.
reparations.
Well, I think okay, so she talked about Martin Luther King Jr. in her
Reply
the
to you?
No, in the thing that I reacted to that she replied to.
Okay.
And
Okay.
it kind of seems like she does think that MLK's whole thing was like appealing to white moderates.
Oh. Didn't he criticize them though? In his
Yeah,
famous
that was
thing?
his whole thing was that he had a big problem with appealing to white moderates. So
Right.
I might be doing a
Yeah.
video on that at some point.
Thought so as well. Yeah.
Specifically, but equal rights was obviously a contentious thing. He got
Yeah.
fucking shot and died.
Yeah, sure, but like obviously
Which
he
do you
didn't.
think that?
But he didn't. Yeah, but he didn't argue for like black people to become president, right? Like he didn't go too far, right?
No,
my
he
God.
did.
What
What do you mean?
does that
That's the
mean, too
logical
far?
conclusion of black and white people being equal. Like what?
Yeah, but he didn't argue for like the most craziest shit, right?
That's not crazy. That's exactly the point.
Wait,
That's exactly
what?
my point too. My
No.
point is
What?
that
She
What the hell?
she's just saying stuff.
God damn. The craziest. Black
Crazy
people
shit
being
like
presidents. That's just craziest shit. What? Damn. I don't think she understands just how that makes her look.
that's some gated community
Damn.
energy.
Oh god. I think Yuune is really doing good here though.
Yeah, Yune's doing great. I agree with Food Shop's assessment that Yuune is an excellent debater.
Yeah. Damn. I'm not sure if Food Shop says though, but that's okay. All right, let's go.
But
When
like
you're
the
arguing
whole
for
point,
people's
no,
equality-
but I'm telling you, right? The whole point is that you have to be strategic with the things you demand. Does that make sense?
No. I mean, yes, but no.
no, because what I'm demanding is exactly what we want, and what you're demanding is just like equality for some, but not for others who don't fit in well enough.
Yeah.
No,
exactly.
the problem is that what you're
True.
demanding is absurd, right? What you're
No, but
demanding
equality
you're
is
claiming
absurd.
it's absurd without evidence, and I have evidence that it's not absurd, and you're just saying it's absurd.
I don't
without...
think no, right?
True.
Because like I said before, I can understand like over the past few years, right? I can understand like over the past few years, you already have women and extremely feminine presenting people wearing stuff like suits, right? Yeah? You can have them wearing suits. You can have them wearing stuff that originally they weren't able to wear, right? Like suits, like
Oh.
hats, like whatever the fuck, or etc., right?
Women were
However,
always able to wear hats. Just throwing it out there.
Just over the past few years, wow.
Just throwing it out there. Hats were always available to women. Just you know.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Hats.
when it comes to something like he, him
Quality
pronouns,
absurd.
you're talking about something that maybe is on par with gender abolitionism. That is what you're talking about. So when it
Oh,
comes
That's
to
the logical conclusion.
yes, but you're
of it.
you're skipping way too many steps ahead.
No, what do you mean? I've laid out exactly what the steps are. You're just saying we should stop somewhere. I'm not
No.
saying
True.
that people are going to accept the total expansion of gender categories right now. When did I say that?
My problem with this is that you're skipping so many steps ahead. Is that if you argue for this right now,
She's just making the slippery slopes fallacy right now.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh well, you want gay marriage, but what's next? Marrying my dog?
I mean, if the dog consents, if you can communicate with it, and the dog consents.
That's true.
Oh, yeah. Romance.
now it would backfire. Does that make sense? And you're asking for proof.
No.
And you're
the
asking
context
for
of this
proof on
argument.
this.
No, the context of this argument is whether or not we should purity test people to figure out whether or not they're trans. Remember, that's the context of this argument. The conclusion of my argument is that there's no valid way to do that and no social utility in doing so.
Yes,
and now you're
but
saying
right,
that in
but
order
we
to appeal to
moved-
conservatives,
right,
we should do it.
Right, but we moved past that part, right? I said that we shouldn't purity test individuals, right? Does that make sense? But I said that we should still criticize generally on like, okay, we shouldn't turn this like transgenderism thing into like a trend. Does that make sense?
No, when did I
What?
say that it was a trend? Like, how does that contradict anything I just said?
No, we should criticize, right? Like that's where the disagreement is, right? Otherwise,
No,
why would
there's
we
no
be having this in
disagreement
the
there.
first
When did
place?
I say that people who aren't actually trans and are pretending to be trans should be defended?
Then why are we having this disagreement in the first place?
We're
I'm
having this
confused then.
disagreement because you're saying that purity testing trans people is somehow conducive to getting their rights in the end.
No, I'm pretty
Hello,
sure I said something along the
James
lines of,
Riag.
okay,
Can
we
you
should...
pause, Arkael?
Yeah.
So the debaters are food shops and her moderator, Yuune?
Yeah, moderator.
Yeah?
That's
Yeah,
correct.
her moderator. And they're debating transmedicalism, James. So that's what you've gotten yourself into. And I'm reacting to it together with the guest Arkael. So it's 2v2. Yeah. Also welcome to the stream. I'm so happy to have you here, especially you, James. You're my favorite. Okay, let's continue.
Alrighty.
criticize, right, trans trending, and then you had some issue with that, right?
No, you're
What?
saying that we have to. No,
Okay,
well,
we
I
had to
just told you.
rewind the VOD. Holy shit.
No, well, I
my
just
God,
told
I'm so
you.
confused.
If that's what I was criticizing. Wait, you just responded to what I said as if I didn't respond to it within my response. Like I said, I never had a problem with criticizing trans trenders. You can remember it from our last conversation. I
Then
said the
how
same
did
thing.
we-
At
okay,
no
then
point did
how
I
did
defend
we- okay,
people who are
wait.
trans
Then
trending.
how did we get to the feminine person with the he, him pronouns? How did we get there then? Do you
Because
remember?
I'm saying that person doesn't have to be a trans trender. They're a legitimate trans person.
I mean, okay, hold on. We can say that, okay, from the queer community perspective or from outside the queer community perspective. Because these
Why
can
are
be
we
two
talking
different
about
things.
the outside community's perspective at all? If you want to talk about political expedience, You just
Yeah, wait, hold
say
on, hold
up
on.
front.
Hold on. From
Yeah, because it's like she forgets what they're debating. They're talking about who is or isn't trans, and she's like, oh well, from whose perspective?
That is so weird.
As if they're not talking about like the truth of the matter.
Yeah, very weird. But that's also sort of that gets into the whole debate that you had about with the homeless man or whatever, quibbles
Mm.
about, if people perceive this as racism, then the person is racist. And what? It's
Oh,
sort of also
I caught some of that, but I
goes
missed
into
most of
this.
it.
Yeah, you should watch my video and comment.
Yeah, I will.
Should a long substantive comment. All right, let's go. Let's continue. Let's
because if we're
get the hype
talking about
going.
like if we're talking about from the political, like if we're talking about optics, right? Then we have to clarify like from what perspective we're talking about from, right?
No,
Because if
you're talking from your perspective, and your perspective is informed by what other people think who disagree with you.
oh, sure. Then it's from outside. All right. So if it's from outside, right? If it's from outside, then therefore, all right, transgender and transsexual is all just transsexual. Okay. Then transgender is transsexual. There you go. Okay. Okay.
What?
Okay, but if your perspective is informed by that perspective, do you see the problem there? That's not what trans people are at all.
Yeah, but then that's the problem, right?
True, Lisa.
Is that
No, that's
like
your problem. That's not my problem. My problem is that I'm just going to say what being trans is, and I'm going to
yeah,
stick
but then
to it.
to
and then
other okay, the problem is that to other people, transgenders shouldn't exist whatsoever.
No, they think transgender shouldn't.
Okay,
I don't
so
think
she's
they exist.
yeah.
I don't think they exist to begin with. So
I mean,
problem solved.
yeah. First of all, citation needed. Second of all, she seems to be like defining terms based on the public perception of them.
Convenience.
Yeah, convenience and like what this means whatever people think it means, which is a very
I think it is, yeah.
social constructivist way of thinking. That's very strange. You'd think she, as a quote unquote transmedicalist, you'd think she'd be like appealing to some kind of consensus or something.
Yeah, medical consensus or whatever.
Yeah, that's very strange.
Yeah.
Shouldn't exist whatsoever.
Okay, what definition of transgender are you using here?
Your definition, the one in which people think transgender people are
Yeah, sure.
one
So
not majority socially accepted.
So they think
I'm using my definition.
So they're
which is the
my god,
correct
I'm
one.
getting so confused. Okay, so they think transgender people shouldn't exist whatsoever. Okay, correct, right? So which is why when you're making the argument that an extremely feminine person should be using he/him pronouns, you're not helping the movement whatsoever. Okay, you're not. We should already be arguing on the basis of like existing arguments that we already are making in the first place that they are familiar with.
When did at what point during anything that I said, did I say walk up to the most conservative person you know and advocate for gender abolitionism? When did I say that?
At the end of the day, that's the entire time of what we've been talking about, right?
When you state what transgender people are, you're just honest. And when you state what your prescriptions for society are, hold on, you're cutting me off. When you state what your prescriptions for society are, you just state that we shouldn't purity test trans people because you can't find because of the definition of trans people that is correct.
No,
we agreed to all of these premises at the start of the conversation. And I've led you through how all my conclusions logically
and we have moved past that. But you kept on going back there because you are being bad faith right now. Okay, that is what's happening. What? Yes, you are. Okay, no. I'll explain. Okay, I'll explain. Yes. So what has happened in this conversation, all right, is this, okay? So so this is where we start, okay? We started exactly at the point of, all right, we started. In fact, I'll fucking write this down, okay? So
That happened in
so
that
we
debate
started
as
at
well.
the point of
Did it?
Yeah, the whole I have to write it down thing. It means she's agitated, I guess.
That's interesting. I wonder if I can avoid that. Probably not.
We'll see. We'll see.
of okay, what is where do we disagree on for trans sexual whatever the fuck, right? But then we have moved past that into the what
Greener
was the topic right
pastures.
before the feminine with the he him? Do you remember? What was the
It's
topic
the
right before
same
that?
topic. Like I've been talking about the same thing the
It's
whole
match
time. Like
safe
I
when you
literally have no
disagree
idea what
with
you're
me.
talking about right now.
Yeah, so the problem, right? The problem is that you cannot move. You kept on moving before that, even though we have stayed on the feminine person with the he him thing the entire time, right? But we have moved on to that the entire time, but you kept on going back before that because you know you had a losing
What
point.
does that mean?
That is why.
What does
right?
that mean?
No, I'm going back because in order for you to accept the entailment of my premise, you have to accept the premise. But you kept rejecting the premise after
Okay,
accepting it
go.
later on.
Fine, I'll answer your
That's
question
not
for the
bad
fifth
faith.
time. Go. I'll answer your question for the fifth time. Go. What's your question?
Oh my god.
Kill me.
If the definition of trans people is that it's someone who experiences gender incongruence,
What the hell?
She did accept that at the
Mhm.
beginning. I remember that.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that as well. Oh boy.
that means we can't externally verify whether who is and isn't trans, so we shouldn't socially purity test people in order to find out who the real trans people are.
I remember now. Yes.
Wait, can you not cut me off? Hold on. Now let me tell you how
Okay.
it connects to the quote-unquote second part of the argument, when really it's the same argument. I'm just adding on entailments to get to my conclusion. Following that statement, that means that when you're talking to conservatives, it just means you say what trans people are. It doesn't mean you get them to accept your conclusion. You just say what trans people are, and then you don't internally purity test, but you're somehow over here advocating for like purity testing in order to like help the conservatives understand, because they'll only accept people who are like normative. Like,
Bro.
Wait, hold on.
what
To
part
be
of my
clear,
argument?
To be clear, I never said that I should advocate for purity testing in front of
Yeah, you
conservatives.
did.
In front of conservatives,
You literally.
I never...
What do you mean?
Right. So what Yuune is what Yuune is critiquing here is that Food Shops is going off and saying some other thing that has nothing to do with Yune's argument, and Yuune is saying,
Yeah.
"Please critique my argument," and Food Shops is saying, "Okay, but I have this other point."
Yeah.
So
And also,
that's basically the whole
we
conversation.
should purity test secretly, but not in front of what?
Yeah.
Oh, weird. Okay, let's continue. Let's see where this
You mean
goes.
that was
No,
exactly what you
no,
said?
you can
you
rewind
did
it.
say that.
You can rewind
we
it.
can rewind
You
it, and you
yes,
will
we
have
can
said that
rewind it.
multiple
Okay,
times.
Yes, we can rewind it, but I never
Yes,
said
we should.
in front of conservatives.
That's literally
Okay?
the entire point of your argument, and that's what I'm disagreeing with you on.
No, I think that us on the left, right? On the left, we should definitely like basically, right? I never said the word disavow, but I'm going to use it now, right? We should disavow people who are doing the trending shit. Okay,
And
what
that's
we're
why
doing.
I keep going back to the premise, because you keep saying that I'm advocating for that when I'm not. I literally have repeated this like 4 times at this point. I believe that there are
I'm
legitimate
not
trans
saying
people,
you're
and there are people
advocating
pretending
for
to be
it.
trans.
No, I'm not
so
saying
why
you're
are you saying
advocating
this?
for it. I'm saying that you're not advocating.
So you agree with
for...
everything I said?
No, I'm saying you should actively disavow it.
What? What does this have to do with what I said? I'm so confused.
Who are
What
these
part do you
people who
disagree with
pretend
me
to
on?
be trans?
If you accept everything that I've said, then you shouldn't be like telling me I'm wrong. Like, I'm so confused.
What I'm saying, right, is that wait, what? Okay. Can you just repeat just some of the stuff, parts that?
No,
that
I
may have
don't want
missed?
to anymore. I don't know what to say.
It's
It's just a tangent.
No,
What do you want me to say?
I think you're just wrong.
How? That's what I'm asking. How am I wrong? What did I say?
That
Have
moderator
you
has
ever just
outpaced
worked
her
in politics
intellectually,
before?
I'm
Ever?
afraid.
Like, do you have any ground to stand on in terms of personal experience?
What?
Oh my
No,
god.
yeah.
What?
Didn't
What?
okay, that was one of the things that Food Shops was like critiquing other people for, was saying like, oh well, you shouldn't appeal to your identity or personal experience in an argument. That's really bad.
Right. What?
She
Where
went
did
really
that come from?
she went really hard on that.
Yeah. Rules for me, but not for thee.
Yeah.
Or rather for thee, not for me. That's so funny. That's so... That is so interesting.
Okay.
Okay, let's see where this goes.
No, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. You worked in politics, so I'm wrong.
Okay, like, are you just like an online politics Twitter person? Like,
It's true. I am terminally online,
Oh
and that's
my
why I'm
God.
wrong.
She's tilted.
oh god, like why am I debating with a Twitter person on this? Like, I don't even know.
Jesus.
I don't even know.
You agree?
I
It's
literally
crazy
don't
because you
know.
agree with everything I say, and then you just call me a Twitter person, and I'm wrong in bad faith. So I mean,
I don't.
I guess we
wait,
both are. Like,
Wait,
congrats.
wait. If I agree with you, why the fuck did we have a long ass debate on this?
I don't know, because you just can't understand what I'm saying and just want to call me bad faith or something. Like,
Wait, that's
I don't
not
know.
true. I feel
Wait,
like
you called me bad
no,
faith?
no. That's not true. I engaged with you with all of my willpower
Roasted by
this
her
entire
own
time.
mod?
Full 100% debate power, okay? Literally the entire time. Good faith effort. A good faith effort, 100%, okay? Not even a part of it was bad faith, okay? Not a single part of it was bad faith.
Especially the part where she said she didn't care.
Yeah, to be roasted by your own mod like this, I don't even know.
I mean, she posted
I don't
it.
even know.
Respect.
True.
Not everyone posts their L's.
True. Maybe she thinks it's a W.
Maybe.
That's also a possibility.
That's true.
Literally not even a single part of it was bad faith.
Well, I didn't say you were bad faith. Notice I never leveled the accusation, so I don't know why you're saying that.
Okay, great. So you're the one who's bad faith. That's good to hear, all right?
What? That makes no sense.
No.
If I'm not bad faith, then that means you
I'm
must
trying
be
to
bad
play-
faith.
I actually
I'm
think
here
like
trying to play
you
my
are.
pew pew playing
You
game.
have like a revolver, but instead of bullets, it's just filled with like brainworms, and you're just shooting it at me. Like, that's what's happening.
Dude.
Like, I don't know what. Like, you're actually just shooting worms into my brain with each sentence.
Oh my
Nine
God.
Tails is in the chat right now agreeing with you. That is a bad sign.
Okay, but notice how you're just pointing to like a bunch of shit that proves I'm wrong instead of giving me an argument that proves I'm wrong.
True.
Like, do you notice that? So which of us looks
My
bad faith here?
argument-
It's not me.
my-
It's definitely not me.
My
I'll tell you that
argument
much.
is this, okay? My argument is this. If I'm going out there and talking to a conservative, okay, all right, is this, okay? My claim is this.
Oh.
If I'm going out there and talking to a conservative or a moderate, I would say that I would only say that a transgender person is defined by somebody with the medical condition of having gender dysphoria.
That's what I said,
so-
but you won't accept all of the entailments of everything of that it implies. You just said like, okay.
Then what did we
I don't
disagree
agree with that.
on?
No, I don't agree
that-
with that.
That's not even what Yuune said. Yuune's changing their definition. They said gender
Yeah, I
incongruence,
just
which
don't
is
agree
different.
with that. Yeah, that's not the same as gender dysphoria.
Yeah.
So I did. Yeah. Gender dysphoria is a very specific term.
Yeah.
Medical term. All right, let's
Yeah.
continue.
Let's just go rewatch this, please, God. Yeah, I think I don't even know that you. You were saying that me saying that makes me crazy, and that like I'm advocating for gender like expansion to a degree that they won't accept, when that's all that I said that we should say. Like, just go rewatch it. Like, I promise you, nothing has changed.
Right.
Like, it's just been you saying, wait, but we should purity test, wait, but conservatives won't understand, and then I keep
Oh.
going back.
Okay.
And then
okay,
now
okay.
you're just saying what I said as if I didn't say
for
that
the
the
purity,
entire time.
For the
Like,
purity testing thing, okay, why do you keep saying purity testing? I'm pretty sure I never said the words purity testing, right?
what do you think it means when you're saying, when you're advocating for people to like see who's really trans or not? That's a purity test. That's what that is.
No. On the individual
No.
level, I would say purity testing, but I never said on the individual level, right?
So if you
According to
purity
who?
test someone in person, it's fine. But if you advocate
No,
for purity
no, no, no,
testing
no,
on
no.
Twitter, it's not purity
No, no,
testing.
no. I'm saying we should disavow transgenders as a group, right? Would that count as purity testing?
Oh no, it's the racism thing again. She's trying to invent some definition on the spot that, like, she can wiggle out of.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. Silly.
No, because that's not what you're saying to do. You're saying
I would say I would,
remember,
okay, maybe,
rewatch this
okay,
conversation, and when
maybe,
you rewatch this
okay,
conversation, hold on.
Maybe, okay, maybe you can rewatch it, right? And then I'll,
No,
okay, if I said it, if I said in that context, I'll admit that I was wrong. All right, I'll admit that I was wrong. All right, then sure, fine. Then I spoke in that way, okay? But I'll say this right now, is that I only use the term purity testing when it refers to the individual. Okay?
Okay.
That's like a
But-
completely
but when
meaningless
it-
definition
but
of
then-
purity
but then
testing. I
when
was
it-
never saying
okay,
go
okay,
up to
okay,
an individual.
Okay, but when it refers to the group, I don't use the term purity testing.
Hey, well, that's fine. Everyone else is, so I don't.
Wonderful. All right. Okay, so when it comes to a group, I don't give a fuck. Okay, I'm just gonna say I disavow this stupid
Pause.
self-ID shit.
Yep.
I don't mean to be mean or anything, but I don't give up. Quack could be a good summary of food shops.
Yeah.
I'm afraid. Oh, but okay. Let's go. I'm just hoping
Because it harms the
Children's Sunday will be chivalrous and will grade me today.
Agree with
transgender.
me.
What? Then why are we debating?
I just keep telling you why you're debating. It's because you keep either one just saying shit that isn't relevant or doesn't disagree with what I said.
No,
and
no,
two,
I remember
it's
now.
because you're saying if someone
It's
looks
because if
he
someone,
him.
yes.
Hold on. I'll tell you what the disagreement is. If
I-
someone looks
oh
like
my
a
God.
he him but says they're a she
I
they,
remember now.
we should somehow
No. If someone
find a
looks
way
like
to separate those people
If-
from the.
If someone
i.e.
looks like
purity
a she,
test.
if someone looks like a she, her, and
What does that mean?
identifies with he, him, and doesn't make any effort whatsoever, like zero effort, right?
But
Does
we
that
know
make sense?
That's not what being trans is. It's not even your definition. You just said it. Oh my god. You said a trans person is someone who experiences gender incongruence, which is not the same thing at all as what you just said, putting in effort.
Bro.
Yeah.
Hence the disagreement. You're
Wait.
saying the definition of
Hold
trans
on.
people is one thing, and then
Hold
saying,
on.
okay, why are you interrupting me? You're saying that the definition of trans people is one
Yeah,
thing,
but
and
my
then when I tell you,
entire
okay, we
argument-
should use
wait,
that
wait,
definition, you're
wait,
like,
but
no,
my entire
we're gonna.
no. But my entire argument
No,
is
no,
built
no.
on political efficacy, right?
Yeah, but.
That might
So
be
when
laugh.
there
You-
exists,
wait,
okay, hold on. Let me
haven't
finish.
explained why.
Let me finish. So
Wait, you just cut me
okay,
off.
okay,
Don't
hold
let
on,
you
hold on,
finish.
hold
My
on,
bad.
Hold
Oh
on.
my
So
God.
when there exists a cringe lord out there who looks like a girl who has big badong,
Her rebuttal to the this is the definition of this thing is but political efficacy is to say that I don't like the definition because it's not politically efficacious.
I don't like the definition because big badongas.
That's
the
true.
response.
That's much better.
I don't like but have you considered that big badongas? Have you considered that? He, him badongas?
That's very true.
Big he, him badongas energy here. Love it. We love the he, him badongas.
I don't think I have a counter argument
gonna-
for that.
We're gonna turn this into a meme no matter what. This is very memeable. The he, him badongas. Are
bonkers.
clothes
All right.
assigned a
And
gender at birth, or
has he, him-
do they differentiate? I think clothes have assigned gender at birth, and they have to medically transition. That is my belief.
Yeah, I think I read that in the DSM-5.
And if you don't believe that, then you're not being very politically efficacious. Oh boy.
him pronouns, okay? And goes on social media and says like, "Oh yeah, I'm feeling transgender today." Okay? All right? And does all
True,
that
with my
cringe ass shit,
badongas.
okay?
Yeah,
That
true.
you can't say that looks
Preach.
good for transgender people, right?
Preach. That happens all the time, by the way.
Uh,
Totally.
uh, so, so you are advocating for purity testing online?
It's okay, James. That's
Uh,
fine. I
uh,
will
I'm
always engage
saying
with
that
you, even
that
when
does not
you
help out
eat
our
brownies.
movement.
Because you're my favorite. Yeah? Well, we can continue. I just praise James for the brownie adventures.
Nice. Okay.
Because my entire thing was built on political advocacy. Why is this so hard to understand?
I don't know what I'm arguing against anymore. Like, I feel like
you're butthurt. You're
I'm getting
butthurt.
trolled.
You're butthurt because you're non-binary,
I'm
and non-binary people are some of the most sensitive motherfuckers I have ever come across on the entire internet. Okay,
True.
all right.
I'm so
Literally,
bad
faith.
all the they thumbs are literally the most sensitive motherfuckers I've ever come across. Okay, all right, okay.
It's true. It is my known sensitivity that's causing me to make logical arguments while you just make illogical arguments and then accuse me of random shit.
No,
that is true.
Okay. What part of it don't you understand?
What was that tantrum just now?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh, you they dams. Just. Okay. Jesus. That was. What the hell just happened? Oh my god. It is cool, James. You're cool, James. You're cool. Okay, you can continue.
Jesus, what part do I understand?
Yeah, you're stuttering because, like I said before, you're bad faith. All right, you're being bad faith. That's why you keep referring to
Oh my
at the
God.
beginning
You
of the
realize you can't
argument.
win.
That's what bad faith means when you're stuttering.
Jesus, you're stuttering, so you're a bad faith. Jesus.
In a
That
debate
we
with me
have-
by just calling me bad faith as I'm about to tell you why you're wrong. Like,
Because
for the
I
fifth
think
time.
I've already won. That's why. Okay, because I think that we have
told you she
already
thought it
passed
was a
that point.
W.
We have crossed the
Man.
river into the woods and into the city. Okay, we have met the Wizard of Oz, and he is sending us home. All right, I think that is where we're at right now. Okay.
Okay, so you asked me a question.
Yes,
You asked
go
me a
ahead.
question.
Pause.
What are
Yeah.
But have you considered that the Wizard of Oz failed to send them home?
I have not
Does food
considered
shops
this.
even know the Wizard of Oz? Also, he didn't. He was supposed to take Dorothy with him in the balloon. But the
Yeah.
balloon flew off too soon and she was left. So I know my Wizard of Oz. And then she had to go to the other witch, the good witch, for a whole long journey. And then the witch told me, "Oh, you had the shoes and you can use them." You know?
That is true.
And then she went home. And then she returned to Oz again, but this time the shoes stayed in Kansas. And then she met a little boy and a witch. And then the witch created a pumpkin head living creature. And then they went to Oz again. And on the way, the boy stole the living powder thing and created a living horse from wood. And then.
Is that the cartoon? I need to watch that.
The anime, but it's faithful to the books. That's what happens in
cool.
the books. Actually, the most faithful adaptation of the thing.
I need to read the
consider.
books then.
Well, yeah, that's what happens. Long story short, at the end of the thing, that particular arc, it turns out that the little boy is a little girl, the Queen of Oz, Ozma.
Hmm.
And the boy gets turned back into a girl at the end.
Wait, that actually sounds cool.
And
All right.
takes the throne as Ozma. Okay, we can continue.
We continue.
What are you wrong about? Okay, so one, you're wrong that the definition of, that saying the definition of trans people, which is all I'm advocating for, necessitates some kind of like political inefficacy. Because like you're doing the same thing and then the same breath saying we shouldn't do that thing. That's number one. Number two, you said you weren't advocating for purity testing online and you don't.
Wait, can you repeat number one? Sorry, can you repeat number one? I want to write it down.
Jesus.
Stop fucking smacking your head. You're already fighting on your last brain cell. Go ahead.
Jesus, I would think that you'd have I would think that you'd be able to have more of a constructive,
logical arguments that I'm
constructive discussion with your own mod, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I would think. Just a thought. I don't know. So weird.
It kind of feels like she's trying. It kind of feels like she's trying to foster like a blood sports kind of attitude.
Yeah, it's weird.
Like that's the reason.
Why would you do that with your mod?
You have.
Yeah, that seems really toxic.
Yeah.
No logical arguments. Okay, go.
Wait, hold on. Before I repeat what I said for like the 8th time, I just want you to know. Do you really think I'm being bad faith and you're not? Like, is that really what you think what's happening here? Because if so, the conservatives are right about trans people. I'm so sorry. They're completely right. You're completely insane and delusional.
Yuune. I was so good faith. I was so good faith this entire time up until this point. Okay? But I'm trolling you now.
This is a gaslight.
I'm trolling you now only because I'm trolling. Hold on.
You're trolling
you now only because it's exhausted. Okay? It's only because my good faith is exhausted.
All your good
and I can only troll you now. Okay?
Oh my God.
It's only because I can only troll you now, and you're being delirious, boy. Okay, delirious, my boy. Okay, all right.
It's legitimately like, oh my God, it's so true about like, I don't know.
That's
crazy.
No.
That's
Listen.
That's actually crazy.
I have to hand it to you. You're a fantastic debater, and you're a fantastic opponent. You're a challenging person to debate against. Okay, not gonna lie, you are in fact
it's
a
only
fantastic
because you're
debater.
challenged.
Okay?
That's why.
Stop.
That's why it's challenging. It's because you're challenged.
Listen. You can actually beat out anybody on this server. Okay, you legitimately. Okay, you can actually beat out
you, where I'm just bad faith and just throwing shit at the wall.
Sorry, did you say something, Lucy?
No. I'm just flabbergasted.
Okay,
at this
yeah.
point.
Yeah, me too.
No, you can beat out anybody on the server except for me. Okay, all right. That's the only person you can't beat out. Okay, all right. That's it. All right.
I know. I'm taking it all here.
Hello, Boogie. Oh my God, it's Boogie.
Yeah, what's the first point?
We are giggling.
Yeah, here's
all the
things you're wrong about in this conversation.
No, Boogie, you're my favorite. I'm sorry, James. Boogie is the favorite.
Okay.
Don't make this a 2v1. Don't make this a 2v1.
No.
Hold on, Jay. Before you say anything, I just want to say why Kat is wrong. Okay.
Oh my.
So she can write it down.
Hold
on, Jay. Before you say anything, good 1v1.
No, Jay. Before you say anything, let me say this so she can write it down. Okay.
James from the internet.
Number one, and this is just what I can keep track of because you've been so all over the place in this argument that not even I can do it. But here's number one.
Okay. Hold on.
The first thing you're wrong about, Kat, is saying that that I am somehow advocating for gender absolution, gender.
Thank you.
What's the word? Gender
self-ID.
No, gender absolution.
See, Jay, get out!
Abolition.
You're already
No, thank you. No,
no,
fine.
Jay is already off track in the entire thing.
Hold on. No,
oh my God.
He gave me the word. You're saying that by stating what the definition of trans people that we both agree on, that I am somehow advocating for something that you're not, i.e., gender abolition to conservatives. That's number one. Is you keep making that claim repeatedly over and over.
What a mess.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. That was being to trigger you.
The entire debate was just them speaking past each other. The whole thing.
That's interesting.
Okay,
wait, is it over?
Right? Yeah.
No, not yet. There's 3 minutes left.
So number two.
All right.
You said that you are not advocating for purity testing online. You don't consider it purity testing.
Again.
Even though the thing you're advocating for online is shaming the cringe she hers who look like he hims. This is what you said. So not only is it inconsistent, but I also disagree with it on the basis that it is
hold on.
completely ineffective.
Shaming he hims that look like she hers. Yeah.
Why did you interrupt me to repeat what I said? What?
No. It was the other way around.
It's the same thing. Oh my god. No, that's I.
No,
I
that
have
was the
zero brain
example.
cells now.
Wait,
I
that
have
was the
none.
example. That was the
No,
example
it's
that
gone.
we were using.
God.
Oh
No, my brain
God.
cells are gone now. I don't know if I can continue.
Wait,
Okay.
hold on. Kat, is there a meaningful difference to you?
No,
Kat, between-
absolutely
No,
not.
there's
I'm
not.
asking Kat.
There's no difference
Turn the
whatsoever.
temperature down a little bit. Kat, is there a meaningful difference?
No.
Of course not.
But
Okay.
we were just trying to keep consistent with the example we've been using this entire like 5 hours we were debating.
But there's no difference.
What's the third? Okay, what's the third point?
True.
Just continue.
It's unfortunately true, Boogie. But it's okay. We don't do gross things here.
Jay, why are you in
We
here?
don't-
Jay, why the fuck
We
are you
don't
in
do
here?
gross
Hold on, let me-
things here.
Let me think of like, because like I've been so like again, I'm
Yeah.
operating on 0 brain cells, so I have to try to think back because those were the first two.
But today, yeah, it is
Third,
pretty
you're
cold.
saying
It's
that, like-
-1 degrees.
Okay, this is one of my problems
But with this,
with your argument.
on the other hand, we
is
discovered today
it
that there are
reinforces
big
normative
he, him,
conceptions
badongas.
of gender that I feel
Discovered
are
the he,
already
him, badongas
incompatible
tonight.
with the transgender goal. So
There's a
by
lot of
taking
snow.
your actions, we're actually harming real trans people. That's my
In
argument.
Poland, at least.
Reinforces
Now they give you the
normative.
two things that you-
genders. That is okay, reinforces normative conceptions about gender that is
He, him,
can you repeat
badongas.
that?
That harms real trans people and is
That
also
harms
inconsistent with the definition of trans
Real
people
trans
that we both
people
agree on.
that harms you with that
He,
on
him, badongas.
definitions that we agree on.
And that's it.
That's it?
That's the video.
That's it?
Yeah, it just ends in the middle of that.
wow. Yeah, damn. That was exciting. That was amazing. That was the best
Wow.
thing ever. Wow. So
I learned so much.
what are your conclusions then? Give us
Um,
your he him badongas.
that's the
Boogie.
big one. That's the takeaway
Badongas.
that I have. Yeah, he him badongas. So
Yeah.
we've got that on the checklist. That's my number one anti-transmit argument so far.
He him badongas.
The other one is I need to go in just knowing nothing and asking questions. I think.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause it's-
If I'm trying
Good
to
luck.
make art, if I'm just trying to like make my arguments, it sounds like that's going to go nowhere.
Gas. I think so. Yeah, I believe so.
Because I
Yeah.
don't know if food shops will actually respond to the arguments and not just say something else.
Yeah. All I can say is
Unfortunately.
that it was a mess, and after 2 debates, I don't even know what to think of food shops'
Yeah.
thought process. I don't even know anymore. I'm just I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed.
She seemed kind of burnt out in that conversation. I wonder how long she had been streaming for. Like she was kind of like half present. It almost seemed like.
Sort of, but she was full present with the homeless man, and still that didn't
Okay.
help much.
All right.
So I don't know if that's a factor in this
Mhm.
whole shebang. I don't know. It's a mess.